Hello, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net and welcome to this video vlog for Barry Galbraith comping arrangement on the blues in F. This study is taken from this great book. Currently I'm recording one every 2 weeks or so, and with the great contribution of my private students and people on the members only Facebook group. This is great, thank you guys. So I will be playing this study. You can watch it. It's getting the studies are getting harder and harder, so the perfectionist inside me, I had this tendency to want to start over. However, I did not, so I'm challenging myself to keep the takes even if they're not perfect. So this is a one taker. I've practiced it enough. You'll notice a few glimpses of hiccups in time and fingerings and melody, which probably only I could hear, or if you pay close attention. Anyways, the setup here is just a Roland Cube, once again, Cube 60, Dunlop Jazz 3 picks. And this is plugged straight into the amp, Godin Montreal. And then what I'll do is, after you watch the playing, I will do some commenting on the fingerings and some things you have to be careful about. So enjoy the performance. Okay, so coming out of this performance, just for the record, I told you in the beginning that I kind of let it there even if there's a hiccup, and I felt the temperature in the room kind of raise while I was playing, because I hold myself to relatively high standards when it comes to these things. So bear with me, and thanks for watching and being patient. I'm trying to be more kinder to myself. So here, let's go in the details. So let's start with the biggest hiccup that happened in the video. You can find this on the second line of the second page. The first bar is B flat 13 sharp 11, and Barry plays it like this. This is the fingering that's notated. However, the fingering after states to play the B flat major triad just like this. I do not do this, and I believe that's not what Barry is doing, because I'm listening to the recordings at the same time and he does this. So basically just these three fingers are used, three notes. So it's a back and forth, and I think the printing of the book is wrong. When it says 2-1-1, it's actually 3-2-2, because it's much easier to slide than to reposition your whole hand. You'll notice this is the worst part of this study for me, and in the performance my time is I'm probably rushing a little bit or dragging. I'm not on the swing. It's not swinging very hard, so forgive me about this, but otherwise I want to discuss. It's a great study for learning dominant chords on the top strings, especially if you're not used to this move I call the pry. So people can do this, but if you're not used to flattening this part of your finger, and even with the third finger, if you're not used to doing this, this study will get you doing it quite extensively. So notice there's a few things you want to pay careful attention to. So third line, the last two bars, you have this. So this note is repeated, and this voicing goes down to a D, G, and C, right? 13 or kind of altered chord. The temptation would be to go use four fingers, then use four fingers again. I urge you to keep this this shape with your first three fingers, and to do this. Yes, you're watching this right. This finger bars, partially bars, strings 3, 2, and 1. So sorry. So you get the D, the G. It's a G13 actually, G13 flatline. And then for the C, same thing. So whenever you can, don't use that four finger shape, even though it's the same notes. You're just going to get better at what's coming up after that. So this is a first instance. Another thing you'll notice right away in bar 2, we use that shape. People say, oh, this is a D minor 7 flat 5, right? It's not. It's a B. It's a B flat, right? And the reason for this is, if you look at the D minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio, it's just 3, 5, 7, 9 of a B flat chord. So it's what we call a substitution going up a third, up a diatonic third. So this is one of the things. You can finger it like this. You can finger it like that, like this. I recommend this because you bar your index, and then you can do, and then later on, close to, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth line down, the very last 8th note, you get this. Sorry. So you have no choice, you have no other fingering. This is not very practical to go like this. So you have to bar the B, which actually is just a half step up. Good. What else? The hardest part of the piece for some of you will be the beginning of the second page. So starting from the last two measures you get of the bottom of the first page, you get this. There you go. This second finger blocking the third and the first string, and he moves with it. So it's worth your while to just take time to see how you can maintain that top melody. It's kind of hard in the beginning, so this is another thing to watch for. And then for the beginning, it's pretty obvious, pretty straightforward what's happening. Then starting in the this third line down on the second page, what you will see is there's a lot of bluesy melodies. So this one, so see, these are really simple pentatonic blues melodies. The way they're harmonized is bananas, because it sounds like, you have this big band behind you, but it's just guitar. So I will encourage you to, from that point, which is chorus 1, 2, 3, 4. So starting from the fourth chorus, why don't you just take a look at the melody alone, out of the context of the blues in F of the comping study. Just play the melody, lift it. Ba da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da 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 ba da ba. I'm just singing from memory. So this is really what's happening, because blues is blues. It's very obvious. We all know the chords. We've heard them 1,000 times. But what's making this interesting is this whole melodic movement and how he applies harmony under it. So it's not chord melody, but it's kind of chord melody to a melody that he's creating on the spot while comping. So be careful, because the third page gets really crunchy. You get these passing diminished. So same inversion, same fingering, right? And you get those twice, and careful because the melody becomes trickier to follow. So it's this which is not a hard melody, but just with all the chords. One tricky part with the timing, that should be my last note, almost there. Be patient with me. We have 1, 2, 3, third line down on the third page, the very last bar of that third line. So we get. Notice that in analysis, the chord, well, that's the first chord. Those are just a whole bunch of tritone subs. And you might be surprised to look at the last one, and it's called A flat 13, sharp 11, but it is actually. People will say, oh, this is an E flat minor major 7. People will say, oh, this is a G flat major sharp 5. It is. They're all right. It just depends what the bassist is playing. But what I want to point your attention to is first, they're symmetrical voicings, right? So they're all the same shape. But the second thing is to notice the rhythm. So if you were to write this down and fill in those 4 chords that have the same shape into full values, they would all be dotted quarters. So it's this continuous dotted quarter, also known as the Charleston rhythm, that comes around, and it's cycled. So it's a really, really important figure in jazz, and we'll see more of those as we go through the book. I said last note, I was lying, sorry. So I'll just point out to the ending, which I did not play the F13 in time. So this guy's really badass. This is the very last chord of the piece, especially since you're climbing. This is really tough. So I decided to kind of take a pause and pluck it whenever I was ready and not in time. So another little cheat. Let's talk about this voicing. So if you just take an F major and you bar it, you get this. If you do F7, you get this, right? F7 flat 5, flat the 5 here, you get this, and add the 13. So it's kind of this voicing taken as a bar chord and with the flat 5. So that's the beginning of your voicing. It's kind of, this is as deep as guitar goes for an F blues. So that's it for my notes. Thank you for watching. Please don't hesitate if you have any sort of questions, feedback, comments, if you'd like to participate, and post yours on Facebook, on YouTube, and share the links. I love these books, and I love finding, sometimes I find typos, sometimes I find ways we could find different fingerings, and people on the Facebook members only, they found ways to apply this on certain other standards, so not just the song itself. So please feel free to share. This is a community building event. This is a thing for everyone to learn, not just me to talk to you. So please let me know if you have any questions. Please do subscribe to this YouTube channel if you are not subscribed already. We publish frequently, but not too frequently. And also don't forget to visit jazzguitarlessons.net for more free lessons, and I will see you there.